Welcome to the Spirit of a Badass, where we celebrate stories of courage, hope, and resiliency. I am your host, Alecia Jacobson.
What's up, my badasses? Welcome to today's episode. This one has been brewing for a while, and I'm really excited to share it with you. We have talked about the kind of what you should be doing many times, and how I don't want my goal for people, my clients, my goal for really everybody is to not be living from a place where they think they should be, but they actually feel aligned with and excited about, and the kind of life that they really truly want to be living. And when I had Katie Kemp, we talked about this idea of you have to go to college. And there's this idea when I had Becky Birkin on, my longtime life bestie, we talked about this idea of we both got married young, and then I had kids, and then I got divorced. She got divorced and then got remarried back to her husband. I did not, thankfully. But this kind of macro idea of the things that we should do, the path that we should take, go to college, all of these things. And I was listening to a podcast from Lori Rivers a while ago, and in it, she mentioned how she was living in a way that was checking boxes. And she said, I'm checking all the boxes, but I wasn't happy. And that really got me thinking about, I love a good checklist. I make a checklist every single day. I love checking the boxes. But if you're just checking the boxes, are you actually living? And there's this sort of idea of bringing it to the micro level of the boxes that we're checking. And so today I want to get into that and just kind of push you to consider how you're living. Are you living in a way that is just checking boxes, or are you actually living? Because that's where I want you. That is my life's mission for women, is to actually live a very full and satisfied and beautiful life. That is what I want for all women, because then the shit that we get done, the shit that does not occupy our mind because we are so fulfilled and purposeful in our days, there's no room for the other shit that doesn't matter. So that is my goal, and we're going to get into it today. So the idea, okay, you have the macro level of the kind of boxes you want to check in life, whatever they are. I have so many podcasts on that you can go, oh my gosh, I'm already sweating. I'm already sweating on this one. Oh goodness. I'm wearing it's so cozy and warm, like a fleece, because it's cold. Maybe I'll take off my socks. I also have warm and fuzzy socks on, but I think I have to take them off because apparently this one has me fired up and I haven't even gotten into it yet. So clothes are coming off a little bit. Okay, there we go. Done. Anyway, back to it. Macro level, you have the things that you want to do in life, the boxes that you want to check. And then you have the actual daily living that you're doing. And that's where the life happens. That is where you live. That is where the memories are. All the experiences, they are in the daily things. So you may be working towards these big life goals. You may have this vision of what you want your life to look like, but really that is all made, that is created in the micro, that is created in the daily habits, the daily things that you're doing. So you have these boxes that you're checking each day to get there. And if you're checking the boxes, are you living what you're checking, or are you just mindlessly going through the motions and checking the boxes? There's been just this sort of stirring going up, and I don't know if it's where I'm at with some of the, my women's coaching circle. There's been some women that I've been with for over a year now, a couple of my coaching clients, where it's like they are really wanting to almost capture time, to slow down time, because it feels very fleeting. It feels very much like I just want to be in the moment. I want to be present. And I was on a call with one of my coaches, and she said something, and she said, being present is a spiritual practice. And I just thought that was so beautiful, because it truly is a spiritual practice, and whatever that means to you, but that just hit me. And if you are being present as you're checking these boxes, you have a different energy about you. And I'm going to go through the things that I do on the daily, some of the things my clients do on the daily. For instance, let's just say my morning coffee. I get up an hour before I need to do anything for anyone else because that time is so important to me. I don't actually do anything but have my morning coffee. And quite frankly, I am not present when I'm having my coffee. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I light my candles and well, I always light my candles and I have the fireplace on. But sometimes I'm present and really kind of in the time, in my body, knowing where I am, just very settled and grounded and present. But most of the time, I am scrolling social media. I am thinking about something. I am scrolling more social media. I am looking at my Aura Ring stats. I'm checking my email, thinking about the day. There's no anchoring in this hour time, even though I set this time every single day so that I can have it. It is a ritual. But if I'm really honest about it, I'm checking the box. And mostly it's like I am having my coffee or tea, but I am not grounded and present in what I'm doing. Am I okay with that right now? Yeah, I am. If I want to change it, I could. But it's a fleeting time that I mean, imagine if I was like, I'm not going to have any cell phone for this hour. Can you imagine how much longer that hour would feel if I didn't have that kind of distraction taking me away and I was actually just present? Maybe I would get up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe I wouldn't take the whole hour. But if you're looking at checking the box versus living the box that is checked, I'm checking that box. I'm not living it. And going from there, I get my kids ready for school every morning. And it is a mad, crazy rush. Not when we snuggle. So the first thing that happens is they come downstairs and we sit for a good 15 minutes and snuggle. And that is probably my favorite time of all the day. That is a time where I am living what I want to be doing. There is no distraction. It is the most perfect time of all of my day. And I am very much aware, appreciative. Like there is you hear your kids breathing, or you feel their heartbeat, or you have their hand holding your hand, or they say silly things, or your breath stinks. I am so present in that moment. And if you don't have kids, but maybe you have pets, maybe you have a yoga practice or a stretching practice or a mindfulness practice, you are present in that time. But it could also be like maybe your brain is floating, you're checked out thinking about other things. But it's this moment for me when I'm with my children, I am very much checked in to every kind of sense that's happening. I feel their breath. I feel their heartbeat. It's like that sort of sensory overload of absolute bliss and joy and gratitude. And I have that for about 15 minutes. And then 7:15 happens and we must go. And there is no checked inness. That is checking a box of getting everybody ready and outdoor in the morning by 7:50. That is what that is all about right there. Yesterday, my daughter, for like the bazillionth time, yelled, "Mom." And I was so grateful that I responded with a kind, "What?" Or yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I remember immediately thinking, "Oh girl, thank God you weren't snarky there." Or because it was like I had done a bazillion, "Yeah, what do you need now?" Where you can get short and not very patient. You'll have these moments where you're like, "Oh, I'm so glad I responded in a way that felt good." This was one of those moments. Because then, what was the song? She started singing. She had the hairbrush in her hair because it was time to brush her hair. And side note, she has curly hair. So it's actually like probably one of the worst times of my day because it is such a pain. It hurts. It gets frizzy then because if we're actually going to maintain curly hair, there's like a whole process to it. So anyway, worst time of my day. But she starts singing this Christmas carol. She sang one verse and then I sang the next verse. And that moment, I was very much 100% present. And again, like best part of my day. And when I look at my day, the best parts of my day are the days where I'm not just checking the box to get the thing done. I am actually so fucking there that it sends like that tingly, joyful energy throughout your body. Like that is living. And then we have the gym. So then I exercise after I drop them off at school most every morning. And this is my most, if I have a thing that I am grateful for, it is that, because I used to have this practice of exercise around the 8 o'clock hour. I don't do well with early morning exercise, which is so funny considering that my past life was having other people exercise and train them at 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. Not my jam. I can get up and have you do the thing, but I like to gradually enter my day. I like to do it with a very slow, unrushed pace. So this is my time. For the most part, I am checked into this. Sometimes I want to check out. I try to be a little bit more funny during this time because I like it, but I don't like it. It's like this love-hate relationship. Sometimes I don't think people realize I'm trying to be funny and like create connection. I am. Sometimes it just comes off as complaining because mostly I'm complaining. But I'm trying to complain and be funny. And then people have like this like go-getter, super happy attitude about it, like to counteract my like joking negativity. And I'm like, oh, you don't get me. I'm just like, this is how I get through it. I have to like funny complain about this. Like, why the fuck do we do this to ourselves every day? Well, I know why. And they don't know the other versions of me. So they have no idea that like I actually truly love it. They just think, I don't know. That is a whole other story. But anyway, in those moments, I think I'm really checked in. I think I am really living. I try to experience what I'm experiencing. Sometimes I just want to check out, but for the most part, I really feel like I'm feeling it. And then comes work or all these other things, which I am so checked in, but then I'm so checked in. It's in a different way that when I'm in the moment, when I'm in my coaching, it's almost like I'm not really present in my own body. I don't even know how that makes sense because I'm so into whomever I'm working with that it's like I almost don't exist as myself anymore. I don't know how. That sounds very weird, but it's very true. But then afterwards, I have this, it's almost like what is it, like a tsunami where the water goes out? So it's sort of like that. Like the water goes out when I'm with a client. I'm just the sand. And then afterwards, the tsunami comes in and I have this like overwhelming gratitude for what this person has allowed me to be in their world. It's like a rush. I'm so living in it. I have such an appreciation, a gratitude. And then, we have the rest of the day, the evening, which that is definitely checking a box. And sometimes nights are hard, but what that would look like if I was more present. I have one woman that I worked with and she had a jar of questions at dinner and they would pull out a question and they would go through as a family and answer this question. And it created such a talking point to kind of open up introspection for each of them, but then a connection between each of the family members. And it was just such a neat experience for them. And that right there, you're not just checking the box of I need to feed my family dinner. You are living that dinner. And you can do that through everything. You can look at whatever the experience is, whatever the box that you put on your list throughout the day. And if you drop in to the moment, you can live it. You can just breathe. Like I would have this thing at the gym a lot where all of a sudden I would just take a deep breath and I would see what was happening around me differently. This is when I had my gym, when I owned the gym. And I would see the people, all of these people who showed up. And I would see them almost on like a soul level of what they were doing here, their why for being there. And I was overwhelmed with gratitude. That is living. when you see things like what is happening around you, the everyday stuff that you do, but you see it differently. You see it for the magic, the beauty, the miracle that it is. And that is what I want for you. Because if you're able to do that, it's almost like you're able, like in a movie where the time like slows down, where they're like a flashback or a flash forward, and it kind of just goes like in slow motion. That's almost what happens. Life goes in slow motion. So if you're feeling like, what is my purpose here? Life is fleeting. This has kind of been coming up a lot. One of the women in my women's circle talked about doing these monthly memories, and she started her month off by saying, okay, what memories do I want to create? And then she ended it by reflecting on it. If you're feeling like time is slipping between your fingers, you have the power to slow it down. You just have to remove some of the distractions. You just have to come into your body. You just have to stop like thinking about 12 things ahead and think about right now. I'm recording this podcast right now. I'm in a new space that I know that my girls are going to be coming home soon. I had a lovely lunch with my husband. I am into this. I am living this moment. This is not just, yes, I have to record, but I am living this box that I'm checking. I'm living it. And you can do that. I don't remember what it was. Oh, it might be in the book, 100 Essays That Will Change Your Life. I think it's Brianna West. I believe that's who it is. And in it, she said journaling. And journaling is a great one. If you love to journal, or journaling is something that you've done in the past and you've been successful with it, 100%, this is a great way to slow that time down and to be living instead of just checking the boxes. But one of the things that she said, and I just thought this was so lovely, was instead of thinking you have to journal, just write one sentence that describes each day at the end of the day. One sentence. And can you imagine, like we're in December right now, can you imagine if you had done that and you can look back and remember? It's kind of like when you open your phone and you, like, my daughter needed a picture of something and I look back and I'm like, oh, wow, I forgot about that. I forgot about this. And you get to almost relive those moments. It slows down a bit and you really get to live it. And then you get to relive it. That's one thing. I didn't know this was a thing. I think she called it debriefing. My husband is a debriefer. He likes to relive things that have already happened over and over and over again. And he'll bring up vacations or just send random pictures and all these things. And that is a way to be living. That is a full on living, not just that's like not obviously like a today thing, but if you did that, looking at yesterday or reflecting on your day and decide, like, what do you want your focus to be? Do you want your focus to be on seeing all the beauty? There was one year where I wanted to see miracles. And do you want to look back and see the miracles in your day? Do you want to look back and see the connections that you made in your day? Do you want to look back and see how you made a difference in that day? Do you want to see how you use your confidence? Whatever it is, look for those moments in the day and it will slow it down and you will feel so much more lived instead of just feeling like you're going through the motions. You have to like shake yourself awake and figure out, what is it you actually want to be feeling? What do you want to experience? And then make that happen within your day. But you can even, I had a new client that I started working with and we talked about meditation, and she sent me a message saying how she's kind of pushing herself away from like actual meditations on the app. But you don't have to do that. This idea, when people think of meditating, they think of like, cross-legged and no thoughts in your head. But there's like a teeth brushing meditation. Let's say it's for 2 minutes. And in that 2 minutes, you might be walking around doing something else, brushing your teeth, not really thinking about things of the day, whatever it is you might be thinking about. But then let's take this idea of the meditation, brushing your teeth, and you're thinking, I'm putting toothpaste on my toothbrush. I'm turning on the water. And you like legitimately drop in to every single step of brushing your teeth. and think about the teeth that are being cleaned. Just in the moment, breathing, feeling the toothbrush, feeling the toothpaste, feeling the bubbles, feeling the fresh, clean water you're cleaning them with. Think of how long that 2 minutes would be. It's remarkable. And you can do that with everything. So really, if you're feeling like things are moving too fast, like you're not able to be in the present, pick one thing and be present in it every single day. I mean, the day is pretty long and that just seems overwhelming. But if you say, I want to be more present in the last 5 minutes of my day. I want to be more present in the first 5 minutes of my day. I want to be really living at dinner time. Whatever it is, pick it and then slow your mind down. Focus on what is there. Focus on living, on being. Get out of your head and just be there now. So these are ways that you can stop checking the boxes and start actually living. I would also suggest that you think about how is it that you want to be living, because if you're just checking the boxes because you have to check the boxes, if you're not wanting to be present in the current life that you have for yourself, that's a whole, we got some shit to do. You message me and we can get on some one-on-one coaching and start creating a life that feels really good for you. And that's a sign. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I don't want to be present. I don't want the time to slow down. I'm unhappy. That is information right there. You need to do something with that. Because if you don't want to be present and living in the life you've created, let's do something about it. You got to do something about it because that's not fun. And again, you don't have to start with a whole life overhaul. It's just pick one thing and do something about it. To go through life and not enjoy the experience of it, to be numbing it out or wasting it away. If I even think about it, the hour that I get up early every single day, let's say even 300 days out of the 365 days, I am just scrolling. It's 300 hours. 300 hours. When you add it up, that's crazy. Now, I don't necessarily want to do anything about it yet, but when I look at it like that, so I don't know, this is an invitation to just sort of take some time for reflection, take some time to think, where are you showing up and really living? Are there places where you're like, you know what? I really want to be more present here. I really want to be living this and experiencing this part of my life. And how can I make a plan to do that? If you don't know, send me a message. You get on my Calendly and we can make a plan for you because this is life. Every single day, the things that you do, that is your life. That's what it's made up of. Looking at the big picture is great, but life is made up in the habits and the daily routine and the experiences that you have every single day. That is where your life happens. All right. That is what I got for you. This was way more, I feel like my last episodes have been very angry and charged. This was very flowy. I was telling my husband today at lunch that I'm feeling like I have found this new flow and a very peaceful energy. I'm still angry. Don't get me wrong. That anger, she is still in there and fiery and ready. She is at the ready when I need her. But the other part of me is I feel like I've hit a stride. I feel like I've hit a really good place and it feels really good to be in this very flowy kind of loose feeling. So, all right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. If this resonated with you, if this hits home, I would love to hear what you're going to do differently. I would love for you to share it, take a screenshot, share it on social media, give a review on Spotify and Apple. That helps spread the message. The more reviews that we have, then the more people I can reach and the more people that get to have their lives changed just like you. All right. Have a good day.
Spirit of a Badass is a Lit Path Studios podcast and is produced by Jamie Gale and Alecia Jacobson. Music by Shane Ivers. We'll be back with another inspiring interview. Until then, keep your spirits high and your energy badass.